Poch Macranas, AIM. Professor Williamson, do you think that the convergence of per capita incomes in the core and periphery will tend to be greater in a world where the knowledge about the problem of such inequality is recognized, i.e., we now have the World Trade Organization, we have sub-regional arrangements that try to correct for these disparities, and we are examining the role of governments versus markets as China is showing this re-examination of creative capitalism. So do you think that the thought leadership in this direction is being provided for the world to be more equal?
Great question. He used to be my student. You know, I think one of the, I agree with you completely, yes, certainly. The world is converging and it's going to converge. This is going to be a century of very dramatic convergence. And the current leaders better get used to it because politically it's going to be hard for them to deal with it. The US and Europe, very hard for them. And it's going to come on in a rush with the rise of India and Brazil and China, Indonesia and others, because all of these countries, when they get political muscle, will want, economic muscle will want political muscle, and it'll have to be resolved. So I expect this century to be the century of convergence, dramatically. Will institutions cooperate to try to make that happen? Well, we'll see. So far, it looks pretty good with what's happened in terms of trade agreements. It looks pretty good in particular, I think, in terms of the role of the spread of public health services around the world since the 1940s. The biggest convergence that's took place over the past 100 years, maybe you haven't noticed, is the convergence in morbidity and mortality across the world. It's been absolutely spectacular. Where you see income inequality between nations rising, you'll see a convergence in that measure of the quality of life. Your length of life and lack of morbidity during life is very dramatic. Multinational institutions have played a critical role in yielding that result. And it'll persist through time. And that's what Jeff Sachs, for example, is pushing, especially in terms of the benefits for Africa. So yes, I think these multinational institutions and cooperation between countries can play a critical role in accelerating the convergence that's going to, in any case, take place across the current century. I just want the Philippines to be a key part of this.